So it is that time again. It is time to check out another mini PC. This one is the MSI Cubi NUC AI Plus 2MG. And this one has a hidden feature in there that I don't see a lot of people talking about. So I'm excited to show that off. But first, we're going to unbox the hardware. I'm going to show you a tour of the outside, open it up, show you the tour of the inside, then put it back together and talk a little bit about performance. And then I will show you that hidden feature. It is really cool. So strap in, we're going to get into it. So it's a very simple box. You can see clearly on the front, it is a Copilot Plus PC, the Cubi NUC AI Plus, meant for business and productivity, but you know, you can do whatever you want with this little mini powerhouse. Spoilers, I've already opened it up and done testing and stuff, so you know, this is not a pure unboxing experience, but we're gonna do it anyway. So MSI has this little sleeve here. What do we get? Oh, it is a little bit of an explainer of what you're getting in here, and that it's been tested, you know, performance testing report, which is nice. You get a little bit of manual, regulatory stuff. Also, what are these little standoffs? Also, you get the screws for the mounting this onto a monitor. And then here we get to the meat of it. Here is the VESA mount. We will mess with this a little bit later. This is a fun little power button that you can plug into the header. We're going to show that off and where that goes in a little bit. This power brick has a Mickey Mouse ears to plug into the IEC cable, and then it is a barrel charger. It is from Chicory and it is rated at 120 watts. So fairly decent size, not too bad. But really, the star of the show is under here. This is the MSI Cubi NUC. Da, 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 da. Now that it is out of the box, let's do a little bit of a tour. The top is very simple. You got the newer MSI business logo up here. Along the front, we have some interesting things to go over. First up is the power button combination with a fingerprint sensor, which you don't see this too much on these mini PCs. So, you know, depending on your use case, it might work out nice. Got a courageous headphone jack, of course. 2 Type A USB ports rated at 10 gigs. It is nice that it's clearly labeled up front. We have a micro SD card slot, which, that's fine. I wish it was a full SD, but you know, I guess better than not. And then look at this. Wow, you got a dedicated Copilot button for overcharging your AI needs. Yeah, I don't specifically know why they put these on here, but they do, just in case you want it. And here you go on this side. This is the little header for the power button that I showed in the unboxing. Let's bring this out. And yeah, it's just a simple little header that you'd have to take out with needle nose pliers, this thing that's kind of holding the port in place, and then you plug it in and you have an external power button. And it also comes with a little bit of a sticky backing in case you want to put this on the side of a monitor, or maybe it's in a server rack and you need to get to the power button easier. This is a really nice little feature, and I've seen these on other MSI NUCs as well. Now we are checking out the rear of the mini PC. We have nice big venting along the top here. From left to right, we have 2 more Type A ports. These are USB 2, which it's clearly labeled, thank goodness. We have 1 and 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, USB-C. We have not 1, but 2 2.5 gig Ethernet ports, which is really nice. And then we see an HDMI port. This is HDMI 2.1, and you see it has a little tag here for Power Link. And spoilers, this is the interesting little feature that I alluded to earlier, so we will be showing off what that means. Then of course you can get it powered off of the barrel jack right here, but also this Thunderbolt 4 port can support PD in up to 100 watts, but then also PD out at 15 watts if you need to charge something. On the left side there is a Kensington lock port, nothing crazy to report over there. And then on the bottom we see a mounting for the VESA bracket that I showed off that was in the box. And to get it open, it is just 1, 2, 3, 4 captive screws. So let's do that right now. So now I'm going to open it up. There's no clear way to grasp it, so I'm just going to hold on to these screws and pull it up. But I had to be careful because there is a header running to the bottom here. And at first I was like, wait, what the heck is that? And that is a built-in speaker. I have not seen these on a ton of mini PCs, so it is interesting to see this little apparatus. And I don't know if you can get in really close here, Willis, but it has a little bit of dampening, so it's not fully seated in there to allow for a little bit more vibration. So essentially it is vibrating, you know, some sort of speaker system in here and propagating, you know, through the actual bottom of the chassis, which is a really interesting design. It's nice to have an integrated speaker for sure. It doesn't sound great, but you know, it's good to have it rather than not have one. And you can see on the motherboard, it just terminates to this little header right here. So I'm gonna unplug this so we can do the rest of the tour without worrying about it pulling. Taking a look inside, it's pretty straightforward. The actual processor package is on the other side with the heatsink and the fin stack. It's a little bit more of a pain to get in there, so I'm not going to fully disassemble it. This is really what's going to be user serviceable anyway. You see the little battery icon. You have this ribbon cable that you definitely need to be aware of, and this is what's feeding the fingerprint sensor, is what I'm assuming it is. Really the only thing that you can service in this configuration is number one, the SSD. We're going to open this up in a second, and then number two, the Wi-Fi card. So it comes pre-installed with a Intel Wi-Fi 6E, but you know, you could upgrade this to 7 if you wanted to. So I unscrewed the two screws to remove the SSD heatsink. I'm going to peel it off so that the thermal pad does not get displaced. And here we see that this is comes pre-installed with a 2280. This is a Phison SSD at 1 terabyte, single-sided, so you don't need cooling on the other side. And yeah, that's pretty much it for storage capabilities. I'm surprised there's no more storage options for here. Also, you can tell that there is no way to upgrade the RAM because, spoilers, this is actually running off of a Lunar Lake part. So what's configured in here is the Intel Core Ultra 7 258V. So Lunar Lake has embedded RAM on the package, so there's no way to upgrade that. And without a way to really upgrade your SSD or add a secondary SSD, you know, you pretty much want to get it configured the way that it is off of the site, kind of what your needs are, because you can't really upgrade it later. So now let's put this back together and talk about performance. And then I'm going to gently press down, and boom, it is in. And luckily they do give you a nice little indicator right here on the bottom that says front, which is this side. So when I put it back on, I want this facing the front. All right, I've put it back together, and I did do a little bit of performance testing just to kind of give you an idea of how this performs in this configuration. But let me go over the specs totally, just so you know what we're working with here. So inside is the Intel Core Ultra 7 258V. So this is based off of Lunar Lake architecture, which means it has 8 cores, 8 threads. No hyper-threading on this chip. And the integrated GPU is the ARC 140V, which is a very good IGP, and especially Intel has been updating it with drivers lately to get even more performance out of it. So you can do some gaming on this, even though it is marketed more for productivity and business. So maybe in the off hours, you know, you sneak in a little bit of gaming. And like I mentioned, this has a soldered DDR5 RAM on the package, so you can't upgrade that separately. In this configuration, I have 32 gigs rated at 8533 megatransfers per second. And as you saw, the SSD was a M.2 NVMe SSDs, Phison 1 terabyte Gen 4 drive, but you can get other configurations. And for all the testing, I was running Windows 11 with the balance profile at the latest update as the time of this recording, which was Windows 11 24H2. And in this configuration, it was priced at $900 based off of MSI's website. Now, let's see how it performs. So for testing, I do not have another Lunar Lake mini PC to compare this to, so I just included a couple of other results just to kind of get a taste. This is not a head-to-head. It's really going to depend on your use case, on what you're going to be needing to do with this, but I wanted to compare it to something, so that's what I included in the charts. And I put it through some tests. So the Cinebench results are going to show, you know, how the CPU is going to perform both in single-threaded tasks, but then also multi-threaded tasks. And the Lunar Lake processor is is a known quantity. I think these numbers are pretty good, but of course, if the more core counts you get for those multi-threaded tests, the more performance you're going to get. I did do some graphics testing on this chip, and you can see those numbers are actually pretty damn good, especially when you look at the graphics score compared to the old Raptor Lake technology. And the last benchmark is PCMark 10, which is kind of a productivity app that goes through some benchmarking, some conference calling, some light document editing, things like that, just to kind of give you a taste of normal office work performance. And spoilers, I mean, this Lunar Lake chip is going to be more than enough for all of your daily work needs. So the last thing I want to show off is that special little feature that I've been alluding to this whole time, and it's called MSI Power Link. Now essentially it is HDMI CEC, something you're probably familiar with on TVs and game consoles, to be able to power devices, but specifically this one allows you, under the right circumstances, to start the PC by using the power button on the monitor. Now this won't work with just any monitor. MSI did send over a specific monitor that this does work with. This is the MSI Pro MP271A E2. Once again, this is a business class monitor that is meant for a solution like this. And the idea is that you use that VISA bracket to mount the mini PC in the back, and instead of having to reach around and turn on both the monitor and the mini PC, you can just turn on the monitor and boom, it'll also turn on the mini PC. But in order to do it, you need to set up a couple things. So let me show those. So both the mini PC and the monitor are plugged in, powered on. I have a mouse and keyboard and then an HDMI cable. It has to be HDMI 2.1 plugged in to the monitor from the mini PC. And in order to make sure that it's working correctly, you need to do a couple of things. The first one is go to MSI Center, which is already pre-configured on the device, and find under Features and General Settings this MSI Power Link. And you can kind of see it has a nice little animation showing you that, wow, you can power the device with the monitor. You want to make sure this is checked. After that, you would go over to your control panel in the power options to configure what pressing the power button does. It defaults to sleep, which, I mean, you could do that, but really we're going to switch this over to shutdown. And the last thing is to go into the monitor's options here. We're going to go down to settings and make sure that HDMI CEC is set to on. And with all those things configured, I'll be able to power down this system with the power button on the monitor. So this is the LED indicator indicating power here. So just watch this. I'm going to hold the power button down on the back of the monitor, and it is going to shut off the mini PC. And there you go, the mini PC's power has been shut off. And conversely, say you wake up in the morning, you got your coffee, you're ready for work, this is mounted to the back and you don't want to have to go back and fumble. All you need to do is press the power button on the monitor and it will simultaneously turn on the monitor, and then boom, turn on the mini PC, and boom, you are logged into your device, ready to work, and be a happy little camper. So all in all, I like the Lunar Lake platform from Intel. I think it matches really well with low power devices like mini PCs. I really like what MSI did here with this MSI Power Link feature. I wish or hope that it comes to more monitors, including gaming monitors, because that would be really cool. I mean, not that your gaming will work, but it benefits, right? And I do wish there was a little bit more storage options in something like this. I understand you can't upgrade the memory configurations, but at least give maybe some more options for storage upgrades. But maybe you don't need a ton of storage. Maybe you're going to use this for work tasks and most of your stuff's in the cloud. Let me know. I'd be curious to see what you would do with a device like this. Would it be a work machine? Would it be a gaming machine? Would it be running some sort of home server? Let me know. And subscribe here on PCWorld for more of this mini PC coverage. I will catch you in the next one. See you later.